The courtroom was silent. Only the faint hum of an overhead light broke through the air, until, suddenly, a sound shattered the stillness. It wasn't a cough or a shuffle of papers. It was laughter, sharp, unexpected, out of place. Every head turned toward the source. A teenage boy, standing nervously before Judge Frank Caprio. His shoulders shook slightly as he tried to suppress it, but it was too late. The sound had already escaped. The laughter echoed against the marble walls, and the mood in the room shifted instantly. Judge Caprio, known for his gentle demeanor, slowly lowered his glasses and looked at the boy. His eyes, calm yet piercing, studied the young face before him. The laughter died in the boy's throat. You could feel the collective breath of the room being held, the unspoken question hanging heavy in the air. Why would someone laugh in court, in front of a judge like Caprio? The teen's smile faltered. His eyes darted nervously toward the benches where his mother sat with trembling hands. A few people in the back whispered. The bailiff shifted, but Judge Caprio didn't speak right away. He just leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. For a moment, it wasn't a courtroom. It was a test. The boy's laughter wasn't funny anymore. It was uncomfortable, almost painful. And the question everyone was silently asking was, what will Judge Caprio do now? Because when laughter meets justice, something unexpected always happens. Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom in Providence, Rhode Island, wasn't like others. It wasn't built on cold marble and legal jargon. It was built on compassion. People called him America's kindest judge, but behind that kindness was an iron sense of fairness. He believed the courtroom was not just a place to punish, but to understand. When you entered his courtroom, you could feel it immediately. The audience sat quietly, their eyes following every gesture, every word. There were mothers holding their children, elderly people clutching parking tickets, and nervous teenagers like Ethan, all carrying stories written between the lines of their mistakes. Judge Caprio had seen it all. Veterans who couldn't afford their fines, single mothers trying to choose between food and a citation, young people lost between choices they didn't yet understand. But through it all, Caprio treated everyone the same, with dignity.
Son, Caprio continued softly, you can tell me, what's really going on? Ethan swallowed hard. His voice cracked. It's been hard lately, he said, barely above a whisper. I didn't mean to disrespect anyone. I don't know how to act anymore. The judge didn't interrupt. He waited. The courtroom leaned in. Ethan continued, the words tumbling out now. My dad? He passed away a few months ago. He used to drive me to school on that same road. When I got the ticket there, it felt weird, like he should have been there. And when I got scared, I laughed. You could hear a pin drop. His mother wiped her eyes quietly in the back row. Caprio's expression softened, but he didn't speak yet. He let the emotions settle. The once laughing boy now stood trembling, his voice cracking under the weight of grief that had nowhere else to go. Your father, the judge said finally. Tell me about him. Ethan blinked. He was my best friend. He worked 2 jobs, never complained. He always told me to face people with a smile no matter what. I guess that's what I did, even when I shouldn't have. The judge nodded slowly. So that smile, that laugh, it wasn't disrespect. It was survival. He nodded, tears streaming now. Yes, sir. The courtroom was quiet, but the atmosphere had changed. The audience that once judged him with harsh eyes now looked at him with understanding. The tension had turned into empathy. Judge Caprio leaned back in his chair, his voice lower now. Ethan, you're not the first young person to come into this courtroom hurting, but I'll tell you something, you might be one of the bravest. Ethan looked up, confused. It takes courage, Caprio continued, to admit pain in front of strangers. Most adults can't even do that. Ethan tried to smile again, but this time it wasn't nervous, it was genuine, fragile, real. Then Caprio grew quiet. So quiet that even the ticking of the courtroom clock seemed loud. He looked down at the file again, then at Ethan, then away. His silence spoke louder than words, the kind of silence that only comes from someone who truly feels the weight of what they've just heard. He took a deep breath. You know, I lost my father when I was young too. The courtroom gasped, not because of the revelation, but because of the connection it created. The distance between the bench and the boy disappeared. It wasn't a judge talking to a defendant anymore. It was one son speaking to another. Caprio's voice trembled slightly. I know that pain doesn't leave you, but you learn to carry it. And sometimes you carry it through laughter. He paused again, visibly emotional. Then his tone changed, deeper, steadier. This isn't just about a fine anymore. It's about a lesson. For all of us. Everyone leaned in. Even the court officer wiped his eyes discreetly. Ethan, Caprio said finally, you drove too fast. You could have hurt someone, but you didn't. And now that I know why you laughed, I understand it wasn't arrogance. It was a boy trying to keep from breaking. He adjusted his glasses. Normally the fine for this offense is $200, but today the rule bends, not because I'm ignoring justice, but because I'm honoring it. Ethan's breath caught. The judge smiled faintly. The fine is dismissed. Gasps filled the courtroom. Ethan's mother covered her mouth, whispering, Thank you, Your Honor. But Caprio raised his hand gently. Don't thank me. Thank your son. He earned this moment by being honest, and now he has a greater responsibility, to make his father proud. Ethan nodded quickly, tears still clinging to his lashes. I will, sir. Caprio leaned forward. Remember something, son. Mercy isn't weakness, it's strength. It's what your father showed you every day, and what you showed me today. The young man smiled through tears. Thank you, Your Honor.
As Ethan walked out beside his mother, the judge looked after him quietly. Then, almost to himself, he whispered, "Sometimes the smallest act of understanding can heal the deepest wound."